for months now, and it all comes down to what happens in the next 48 or so hours. Probably the biggest race with national implications, the race for U.S. Senate. Political Connections Washington correspondent Samantha-Jo has been following both campaigns for weeks here in Florida and files this report.
It's down to the wire in the race for Florida's U.S. Senate seat. Democratic incumbent Bill Nelson.
Elections have consequences.
And Republican challenger Governor Rick Scott.
What we're doing is we're showing people the difference.
These two public figures are crisscrossing the state hunting for votes in a contest heavily focused on local issues.
With Bill Nelson, we get more waiting, more talk, and more algae.
So tell Governor Scott, clean up this mess.
The ongoing algae crisis and spread of might have become a major flashpoint.
The fact that for 8 years he has savaged the environment.
Nelson blames the crisis on Scott for eliminating funding for agencies that regulate development and water quality. And Scott points back at Nelson, saying he's failed to act from the federal level.
That's 100% tied to Bill Nelson. That comes out because of the Dyke Lake Okeechobee. That's a federal project. We have no control over it.
Scott's third run for public office is again focused on issues of jobs and the economy.
I'm going to do the same thing I did in Florida. I'm going to work hard to create a better economy for everybody.
The future of the space program.
While Nelson also touts economic success, pointing to the resurgence of the Space Coast.
The Cape has come alive. The economic activity and spin-offs is very obvious.
The senator making the case he's put the state first for years and is well positioned with seniority and influence in the nation's capital.
Everywhere he's gone, Rick Scott has stuffed his own pockets.
That's corruption, Washington style.
The race between the two-term governor and the three-term senator has been filled with tension and accusations. Nelson warning voters that Scott could endanger protections for pre-existing conditions.
He's tried to repeal the law for the last 7 years. He's done everything that he can to undermine it.
I support forcing insurance companies to cover pre-existing conditions.
But Scott says differently, despite the fact that congressional Republicans have voted time and again to repeal the Affordable Care Act.
46 years of Bill Nelson, and nothing got done.
In a fiery back and forth in political ads, Scott takes aim, calling Nelson a career politician who's done nothing for the state. But Scott has also faced criticism for appearing to use his response to Hurricane Michael for political gain.
He's leading hurricane recovery.
With control of Congress hanging, both sides appear to know just how consequential this election is, and voters we've spoken with across the state couldn't be any more divided.
Senator Nelson is the clear choice.
Are you confident you think Rick Scott's going to take it away?
I do. I don't believe in polls. I really encourage everybody this election time to vote. Very, very important. More important than any year before.
No matter who wins, the Scott and Nelson matchup is likely to make history as the year's most expensive race for Congress. In Miami, Samantha-Jo for Political Connections.